Sup. The opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and Future Bachelor only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity. This fun podcast may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
Hey, yeah. Welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And who else we got here?
I'm Maggie.
Yeah!
Yes, okay.
We got Mags in the building. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. I'm happy to have you. It's nice to have you guys here on this beautiful, kind of gloomy Wednesday afternoon. It'll be Thursday when you guys hear this, but yes, we're still quarantined at our own places, doing this virtually, and it's been an interesting ride last couple weeks with Future Bachelor, and
Indeed.
We got Maggie here today to kind of talk about her experience through all this craziness and what she brings to the table with content, which is very interesting, and I can't wait to dive into that a little bit later. But V, how's everything been? How are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, it's a gloomy Wednesday here for us. It's technically Earth Day when we're recording right now, so think about that. I brought up my trivia every week, and you know what? We technically won this past weekend.
Wait a second.
So that's we came in with the right answer.
I want to congratulate you, but why you have that stipulation of technically
Because we had to. There was an argument that happened for the last bonus question on who the original James Bond was, and we actually had a celeb shot guest, Ray Diaz, come in because Taylor Marie's been on our team for the past couple of weeks, and he was sitting next to her, and he was like, "Oh, I know James Bond. It's whoever, and it's somebody who he was like the first ever James Bond back in 1954, but he was only in this one special that started James Bond, and so everyone else is like, oh, it's Sean Connery, and the person who created trivia was like, yeah, it was Sean Connery, and we're like, no, look it up, and so we had to really. Oh my God. We had to fact check them. But wow. I'm like, it's trivia. If you don't care if the answers are right, what's the point?
Yeah, I feel you.
So we won, finally.
Yo, I'm going to have to do this drop for you because of that.
Oh my God, Ronnie.
For your trivia.
White J's,
white Porsche, white this, white rose. Finally won. I
do not sniff it, the roll.
So yeah,
nope.
Congratulations on your technical win.
Yes.
What else been going
Great
on?
Stuff. So I had a virtual brunch with my dance friends. We danced for an hour, and then we enjoyed I made a beer mosa, actually, because I had Tropicalia mixed with OJ, I think is the best beer mosa you could make because it just already has that fruity flavor. So that was really tasty.
Speaking
Got
of
to
what's
enjoy
tasty,
that, and then I had some reunions with some college friends.
This tastes like what you were talking about. I have the lemonade, mango, truly hard seltzer. It's delicious.
I'm going grocery shopping tomorrow. I am getting those.
So
I don't
refreshing.
know what's taking me so long.
It doesn't taste like alcohol at all. I never even checked if there was, but they're delicious.
There is.
I'm notorious for grabbing things out of the fridge thinking it's an alcoholic beverage, and it's just sparkling water or something.
That's
every
problem.
Time. Yeah, now no, it's just in a fridge where you think there's always gonna be a drink, and someone just has whatever those drinks you guys, LaCroix or whatever. I'm not used to drink. I'm not used to drinking those, so I always think they're kind of like a hard seltzer or something. But yeah, it does sound like a problem the more I try to explain it. But yeah, well, I've been kind of laying low as far as this last week. I've been doing a lot of music, working on a new song I'm really excited about. We already got this cool video planned for whenever we can shoot. But yeah, and me and Paul shot that Louder video last week, which was really fun. But yeah, what have you been up to, Maggie? How's quarantine life been for you?
You know what? At first I was worried because I'm going to run out of stuff to do. But, I've been pretty entertained over here.
Yeah.
I've been, doing a lot of stuff, done a lot of house projects. I organized my entire bathroom. I organized my guest room. I organized my bookshelves, and I've been cooking a lot. So right now I'm currently cooking through an entire cookbook. I'm about halfway through. Chrissy Teigen's Cravings Cookbook.
Wow, that's
So that's
incredible.
really fun. Yeah,
Well,
and
speaking of books, that's kind of your thing. We've talked about it on episode 100 when you were there, one of our guests. But you have your thing. Why don't you tell our listeners what you do?
yeah, so I run an online blog that originated on Instagram. It's called Babe with a Book and a Beer. And basically, I graduated from college in 2016 in Minnesota and moved to Atlanta to start kind of my first corporate job out of college. And I was used to working all the time or studying all the time, and I didn't really have any hobbies. So I moved down here and I was like, well, what do I like to do? And I really like to read. I took a bunch of literature classes for fun my last semester of college to kind of get me back into it. And then when I first moved down to Atlanta, I went on a Bumble date with a guy, which was my first frickin' online date that I've ever done. And he took me to Orpheus Brewing, which I actually have
Oh, man. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
My fave.
Exactly. So it got me into craft beer. And so then about a month into moving down to Atlanta, I was like, I need something to do, something that's fun. So I created this Instagram blog that at the time for years I had like 100, 200 followers. And then it kind of blew up what they call Bookstagram or Beerstagram. It's like a really niche corner of the internet. And there's like a lot of people who started an online blogging through craft beer and books and who now, you know, work at breweries or who write and all this stuff. And so it's been over 3 years now that I've done it. And I started writing for an online book review magazine called The Book Slut. And I started working at Monday Night Brewing when I moved back down here at the end of 2019. And it's, you know, it's kind of like my personal brand, I guess, but it's like my two favorite things that have warped into just a really freaking fun kind of journey, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to call it anymore.
Yeah, I that's what I really like about you. You know, I love people that pursue the stuff that they're interested in, because I really think like if you could really start combining all the things that you're interested in, which make you unique. And I think that's what where you can add value to the content that you're producing and stuff. And I remember one time you said something about like how you like match up books with like actual beers and stuff, like you would with like food and wine or something. You know, I thought that was pretty interesting. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and a lot more of stuff that you've been maybe getting into during these quarantine times a little later. But we might as well catch this flight to quick hits. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Man, what do we got for some quick hits, V?
The flight noise just made me sad because I would have been like on my way or already in Disney right now. So I'm just like
Disney, man, holy cow.
But anyway, so quick hits. Just a fun new term that's been all over the internet as we live in this time where you can't see people. It's called Zumping or face tumping or skumping or any way that you can add a video chat name to dumping. That's what's been.
All right, well, okay. This sounds a lot dirtier than what I think it actually ends up being or whatever like that. But the first two that you said definitely are like they sound like something like a bunch of people search on porn sites or something. What'd you say? Skunking? Skumping? Face scumping?
For Zoom. Face tumping sounds dirty as hell.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? But people are, like, more and more getting dumped over video chat.
So what's starting it? What's starting it?
What?
What's starting, like, you know, like, everyone breaking up, you think, just because they can't see each other, or?
I mean, potentially. I feel like this is, we've talked about it before, like, this is the time where either it's like make or break for a relationship. Either you can like kind of make it work, you're gonna put in the effort to talk or do like little virtual dates of some sort or whatever, or you're not. Like, so I feel like people are coming, or people have a lot of time to like actually like think about things, learn about themselves, and like they're like, am I really in this or am I not? So I feel like a lot of people are doing it that way, which I think it's funny because like we've always like shit on people who have like broken up with people via text because I think that's cowardly. I mean, let's talk. I mean, like Taylor Swift like reamed Joe Jonas alive for years about how he broke up with her like over like a, I think like a 30-second phone call or whatever. So it's just like different times call for different measures. Like what else can people like this is the most personal way to do it. Cause like you can at least see their face and then you're like, okay, well, I guess it's over.
Yo, Maggie, you have a boyfriend, right?
No, I actually got broken up with in person about 3 days before this pandemic like hit the fan.
What?
Yeah, so I got broken up with and lost my job within 1 week of each other. It was like really awesome.
Yikes.
You know what? I'm doing great.
You look great too, by the way.
I what?
You look great too, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
But that's crazy. So what? I mean, has he reached back out like during these quarantines?
Quarantines.
And it was interesting because I was talking with my friends the other day over a Zoom hangout, and I was like, I don't know if I want him to reach out just to be like, hey, are you okay? Or if I truly want it to be completely done, like leave me the fuck alone. So he hasn't reached out. I haven't reached out. I actually immediately after it happened deleted his number so I couldn't reach out, not knowing, that a couple days later I was going to literally lose my job. So it was a very interesting breakup. And like Veronica was just saying how like in person is like better or whatever. Like, I don't know, like I kind of probably wish this could have lasted into quarantine and I could have got dumped via Zoom rather than.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that? I would have
maybe handled it a little better. I don't know.
Well, what do you think? What do you think is like easier about doing it over Zoom than in like real? Because I feel like you say that now, but you would have been like telling all your girlfriends like he broke up with me over a freaking Zoom call. Can you believe it? Like anything.
I know. I would have been complaining either way. It would have been shitty, literally either way. Right. But at least if he would have broken it up with me over Zoom, I could have been like, all right, fuck you. I don't know if I can say fuck over this podcast, but I would have been like, all right, screw you. Slammed my freaking MacBook Pro down rather than him awkwardly standing in my room being like, okay, and I was like, okay, is this done? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, all right, you want to leave? Like, I don't know. I don't know. The ending either way.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Fatality.
Well, I want to let you know that it's definitely his loss. That's for sure. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, V, what else we got? And we'll talk a little bit more. I don't want to make it just like, oh yeah, that was whatever. Like, we definitely have to talk a lot more about that.
Fuck your feelings.
Yeah, fuck your feelings for a little bit. V, what else we got for some more quick hits?
So, as we know, as we brought up last week, a lot of our, high school seniors, all of them, are not able to have prom and stuff. So John Krasinski, he is a sweetheart and a doll, and he on his Some Good News YouTube show hosted a virtual prom of sorts, like streamed it live on YouTube, where he was the host and the DJ, and he dressed up like and everything, and he had like Billie Eilish come on, the Jonas Brothers, Chance the Rapper, he brought on Office co-star Rainn Wilson, things like that. And so like a lot of teens actually like got into it. They posted and tweeted about like how they were celebrating, how they got to wear their dresses or their suits, and like how they were like FaceTiming with their dates or their friends, and so that they could be like, we're celebrating, like we're at prom together. Or like even some teachers were pretending, like teachers who usually are used to chaperoning, like they pretended like they were still chaperoning like their kids or things like that. So it was really cute to see like all the posts.
John Krasinski might be added to my list like Jason Derulo, you know what I'm saying? Because did I not just a couple weeks ago say that we had our prom and he just took our idea? This is something I already had thought of a couple weeks ago. You're added to my list, John, you know what I'm saying? But seriously though, what is it with John Krasinski right now? Why is he trying to run for president or something? Like I feel like he's doing all these things at this moment that is like, he's shaking all these babies and kissing all these hands and stuff,
Shaking these babies, shaking babies.
Yo, dude, that's the name of this episode, Shaking Babies.
Great.
Yo, she's like, great. But I don't know. Did you catch the prom, Maggie?
I did see little snippets of it, and I actually think the funniest part is there's like a journalist named John Krasinski that's spelled different. And a lot of people kept tagging him in the prom videos, and he was like, "This is great, but I think you mean this John." Like, this wasn't me. But like, it's really sad because my second oldest niece, Olivia, is a senior in high school.
Yeah.
She's not getting her graduation, and she's not getting to go to prom with her boyfriend. And like,
Wow, that is shitty.
My other niece, Elena, also had a prom dress and like can't go. And so I really hope that these school districts, like once everything opens back up, if it's summer or fall, that they still put on these events for these kids. Cause like,
It's like milestones, you know?
it is. And like, I think back to my prom, like, one, I can't believe that my mother allowed me to wear the dress I did because my boobs were like very out. Like, two, I got to go to prom and, you know, dance.
I would say send me a picture, but this was high school, not college.
And like, I got yelled at by the freaking one of the chaperones. Grinding. Like, kids deserve to get yelled at for grinding. They deserve to grind.
They deserve to.
Like, so I really hope that when this is over,
you guys are part of the grinding crew?
Yes.
Oh
for
my
sure.
goodness.
I didn't grind because like, I mean, I feel like I grinded a bit, but not that much because like, I feel like you were a dancer too, Maggie. Like, I feel like I usually had like a full choreographed dance to something.
Oh my gosh, she's like, shine bright, shine right, yeah, you're a star. There's like Veronica in the corner.
No, like I was for sure. Like, I mean, I would grind a little, but not much. Also, like we had a whole funny video that like our different student councils like put out when I was like a freshman and stuff about like the no grinding rules and stuff like that. So, I mean,
funny because I was part of the kids that like in my like growing up, we wanted to just like it was all about the 4 slow dances like.
I hate slow dances.
No, but
I would
like,
literally, I would tell my boyfriends in high school would have to like force me to stay for a slow dance. I'm like, I'm gonna go get some like snacks. Like, I hate slow dance.
Yeah, because you guys were from the grinding era.
Well,
We just wanted to
'cause
have
I
romantic slow
I started
dances.
Big dance circles.
What's wrong with
Like,
slow
I would do-
dancing? Slow dancing's romantic, V.
No. My high school only allowed 2 slow dance songs. No, 3, and they were the same songs at every dance. It was
Stairway to Heaven.
And Raz.
Oh God.
It was Bubbly by Colby Calais. That song is literally about orgasms, and we were having teenagers slow dancing to it. And then what was the other one? Apologize by One Republic, where you could like slow dance but also still like hit those beats. You know
But
what I'm
also
saying?
like that song's like, it's too late to apologize. You're like, yeah it is. Fuck you, man. Like,
That's a weird song to slow dance to.
You what?
That's a weird song to slow dance to too. Apologize.
exactly.
Ours was like Stairway to Heaven, which is like really old. Like it was like we didn't even have like the new songs yet that were like our slow song. And what was the other one? There was something else, but it was like Tears in Heaven or something like that. Like really old ass songs. But yeah. Anyways, good for them. Well, at least
I didn't like it.
At least they had a little prom. That's fine. What else we got?
So Lady Gaga, she hosted her concert with like in collaboration with the World Health Organization and Global Citizen to raise money. She also had, star-studded cast. I mean, she sang. She had a whole bunch. She had Paul McCartney. She had a bunch of like people from all aspects of all over the world and everything like that perform, and she raised $128 million dollars. And so some of that was going to like those larger organizations, and then I guess 72.8 million of it went to local and regional like responders, so like directly to like the workers and stuff in hospitals and things like that. So that's awesome. She also brought on Taylor Swift to perform, and Taylor Swift performed her song from her album.
No, we don't
Lover,
hide that,
is-
Maggie. You can open that beer. She's all trying to.
Yeah, don't be shy. We usually like crack it in front of the mic. But Taylor Swift, she performed Soon You'll Get Better, which is the song about her mom and her mom's journey with cancer, that she had always said that she would never perform live. So this is technically probably the only time she would perform it live in any sense. So.
Wow.
Well, yeah, good for them. So this Ansel Elgort, what's this? He's posing nude.
Yeah, so he was one of our slappers back in one of our earlier
Baby
episodes.
Driver?
Yeah, Baby Driver for Supernova. He did this picture that he posted on his Instagram yesterday. It's already down. You can't really find it, but it was him in an outdoor shower, just holding his junk, covering his junk with his hand, and he said, go to my link in bio for my OnlyFans. But it was really a link that was providing donations for Brooklyn for Life, which is it was a GoFundMe for them, and it was helping the city's frontline workers, getting them meals, things like that in New York. But obviously Instagram took the photo down, but he still got he's been getting a lot of money for it. And it's actually funny is that his dad is a very famous photographer, has done so much work in pretty much every major magazine, like Vogue's all over the world, things like that. So his dad was the one that took that picture of
Really? I did not know that. That's amazing.
So yeah, he was making jokes about how his dad was asking for credit, photo cred. So
That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, man, he made a thirst trap for a good cause. That, you know what I'm saying? That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, OnlyFans are so popular right now. People are making OnlyFans pages, to sell their nudes or sell whatever, to either keep them afloat or do whatever. And so I think it's funny that he kind of played off of that ongoing internet joke, but also it worked, because then people are yeah, I want to see more. And then they're JK, I'm going to donate because this was clever.
Do you guys have any friends that do the OnlyFans?
I don't have any. I don't think I know anybody close, really. Well,
I know one person that does it, and
yeah, I know one person.
they make mad money. Just
Yeah.
It's crazy. They don't even show their face, which is insane.
Yeah.
So there's money out there to be made.
Chad Johnson from Bachelor fame. He was on JoJo season, which is before you for sure watched, Maggie, and I think it's also before you watched. Sai, maybe.
No, I remember.
But
Chad.
he's been making himself the king of OnlyFans. He has his page. He has a couple page with his girlfriend, and supposedly he's moving to Vegas just to do straight up porn. So
I was gonna say, is it porn?
Huh?
It's porn.
You can have porn content. I think his couples page is pretty much amateur porn with his girlfriend.
Oh wow,
So.
cool. Well, what else we got?
Do you guys follow Carolyn Calloway?
No.
Ugh.
She
I
just did an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I have after she posted a nude to Twitter.
Yes, her freaking her boobies. Yeah.
You guys
And
gonna have to
started-
send me a link
yeah.
after this.
See, okay, Sai, I feel you would definitely fall into this whole cult around Carolyn Calloway, just because I don't. She drives me crazy. I know she's on Twitter. She plays this whole it's her playing her but amped up or whatever. It's very confusing to me. And she's made a whole career off of her writing on in Instagram captions, and then has pretty much scammed everybody into believing that she's important because she had a ghostwriter who then outed her for being her ghostwriter. Now they've had this ongoing feud. I really can't wrap my head around it. Mm-hmm. And
Is this her?
it's just yes.
Yep.
That's her.
Okay,
That's
I'll have
her.
to check this out later on
It's
for
so
research. For research.
For research.
It really is.
Oh,
She's coming out, but she self-published it, and she acted all these people wanted to buy it, but then she's actually just kidding, self-publishing, but you have to pre-order it, and if you don't pre-order it, then you don't get it at all. But everybody's okay, you've done this multiple times with events and stuff, and then they don't happen.
Oh,
So
she's
it's
the biggest scammer.
she's the Fire
literally
Fest of
scammer.
all fans only.
Scam, and I'm because you're a scammer, girl.
She's the biggest scammer. It's
the
crazy.
Fire Fest of
So interesting.
OnlyFans. You know what sucks about this streaming thing? I feel I have to say jokes twice, and I know our listeners haha, so I try to get that joke off twice. You know what I'm saying? so lame. Whatever. This is our life right now. So it's like sometimes like I'll try to get off a joke and like no one laughs. So I'm just like, ooh, our listeners are gonna feel that one. I'm just gonna start every time from now on. Anytime I do a joke, I'm just gonna be like,
Hey, it's my laugh track.
yeah. So what else we got, V?
So J-Lo, speaking of Instagram's just, at the center of everything these days. She is, for the second time in less than a year, she's being sued for $150K for a photo that she uploaded back in 2017. It was, I think, a picture of her in her role of In Shades of Blue, where she played like a weird cop or whatever. She had just weird hair. I don't even know what that show did.
I'm not gonna lie. The first season of that show is really good. It has Ray Liotta from like Goodfellas and shit. And it's like one long like movie, but that first season of that show is actually really good. I was impressed. I remember seeing that. So
yeah, but obviously it went downhill because I have not heard much of it said.
yeah,
so.
J-Lo on network television is just not entertainment gold. I'll tell you what. But that was a good first season.
But so I guess she's getting sued for posting that picture with her and that character or whatever, because it was supposedly done by Steve Sands. He never gave permission. She thought it was through the network. She thought she was able to use it because of licensing with, the network and everything. So it's like very interesting because she last year got sued for the same amount of money by somebody for a photo that she had posted of her and A-Rod. So it's just like, I'm like, why? I guess everyone's just going after J-Lo. They're like, she's got money. So I guess
I would too.
These pictures on Instagram?
Yeah.
That are of her.
Yes, but like, because technically, and this is like, as someone who works in media, this is interesting just because like, it's a really weird gray area with like how photos are licensed and like how like the permissioning like you need and things like that. And because then like, different paparazzi sites will go after anybody like if they see you using their photos without permission, because like they will like get you for so much money.
I think they have like even as simple as like a senior portrait or something like that, like that's why they have like, proofs over the pictures when they send it, because they don't want you using their picture, even if it is of you, because they took it and it's their property now. So, but yeah, good for them, man. You know how many people like in the world we live in and getting videos and how much shit is getting jacked nowadays and no one gets credit. Like, if you can prove it, then get your money if you found it. Some people, that's all their whole life is taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. Anyways, let's see what else. I've been actually keeping up with this next one, which is Versus by. Are you guys hearing that noise feedback right now? A little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to like work through that. I've been seeing Timberland and Swizz Beatz. They've been doing these verses on Instagram Live where they put, two legends in the music field up against each other that are like equally matched up, like their catalogs. And it's like a fun battle. It's not like we're trying to beat this person or whatever. So, people will live it up. And we've seen ones with like T-Pain and Lil Jon, which was really good. We've seen like Neo been in one. I think they're the latest one that's been talking about is the Babyface and Teddy Riley battle, because the first time they did it, Teddy Riley had ended up trying to have a band and had sound issues and stuff, and it was just like, when you're playing songs back and forth on Instagram, it's at least through this Versus thing, it's meant to be like very lo-fi, like simple, playing the music, and it's just about the music. And Teddy Riley tried to have his band there and stuff, so they ended up having to reschedule it. But when they rescheduled it for the second time this past Monday, even I tried to get on to watch it, and somehow it like crashed. It crashed Instagram. God damn, this noise is crazy. So yeah, essentially it crashed Instagram to the point where like no one could get onto Instagram Live and watch it. Some people were able to get in, some people were like out of it, but it was pretty crazy. So it's interesting right now because they're using Instagram as the platform to do this show, and Instagram has so much power over it. Like, if Instagram wanted to shut down the whole stream because like they weren't making any money off of it, that's what could have just happened on it. So interested to see like how they develop it, like, because it could go on to be a show that's on like Netflix or something, but because they're doing it on Instagram Live, it's not really formatted to be shot like really well and stuff. So it's an interesting thing right now that's happening out of the quarantine. Like, it's one of the cooler things I think people are being creative and doing. But did you check it out, V?
Yeah, I tried to get into the one when they redid it on Monday on 420, but it like kind of broke like Instagram Live, like they were having technical issues, and they also they had like I think over 4 million people trying to join at once. It was like crazy, but I guess it definitely, I love these versus things, and I think they're really fun, but I agree, like, they were even getting flack, like, when they first tried to do it, because there was like, okay, like, it's supposed to just be, like, less is more, like, playing tracks, like, doing whatever, instead of, like, being like, here's my band. So, right. It is a really fun way to, like, interact with artists and see them interact with each other, I think.
Did you get to check it out, Maggie? Have you seen those verses on Instagram?
I did not watch it, but I was on Twitter and I was like, what is everybody talking about? Like, they keep saying this name Teddy. And I'm like, what is this? And so I know, like, the feedback for it, that everybody was like, what the hell is going on? But, like, I've been using Instagram Live to watch, like, John Legend gave a concert on Instagram Live, and then his wife, Chrissy Teigen, did, like, a freaking stuffed animal wedding for their kids on Instagram Live, right. And I watched it.
And I watched it.
Yeah, I watched the hell out of it. That's hilarious. And a bunch of authors are doing their readings on Instagram Live now and stuff, so I've been doing that, but I did miss the concert.
Well, it's. I think they're gonna keep doing them, and there's gonna probably get better and better. Like, the matchups have been like really incredible, and people want to do them now. The first couple, it was like, I don't know if I want to do it. Now they see how it's like popular. And now a lot of big people are getting involved. So, what made you go yikes this week, V? Something that was like, whoa, that's yikes.
So speaking of like these different battles or challenges, French Montana is out here like going for it. He's like trying to go toe to toe with Kendrick Lamar. And so that was just definitely a big yikes moment, because he was trying to say that he had more hits than Kendrick Lamar, and that like they would be an even matchup. And then it became a whole thing where him and Young Thug have been like beefing back and forth, sending each other video messages on Instagram or like things like that. Where
is it serious?
Yes. First of all, the fact that French Montana even thinks that him and Kendrick Lamar are on the same level is wild to me. Kenny has a Pulitzer Prize. You can't.
Yeah.
Literally.
And French Montana is like one of those people that like I feel like rose the ranks. Like, he kind of like because he was signed to both like Rick Ross and Diddy. Yeah. So he was just kind of thrown into the limelight with all the top rappers, with like Drake and all these people, and yeah, there's no way. Like, French Montana's crazy, man. Kendrick Lamar's like, but he does have a lot. Like, French Montana does have a lot of good songs. Like,
he does.
The thing is, it's
Unforgettable is one of our faves.
It's not like, I mean, to be a rapper, you have to think you're the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's like interesting and that would be a versus I would love to see, to be honest, to see like both their catalogs get put up against each other. But they really vote on them. Like, they'll be like, this person won round 2, like,
yeah, when
they have their songs like back to back. So
I was seeing people who like were putting J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar up against each other as a better match, and I kind of agree with that. I think that'd be a little bit better of a match than French Montana.
Well, yikes, French. I don't even know if like
check
a lot
yourself
of people
before you wreck yourself.
I just feel like not even a lot of people know who French Montana is, so it's kind of ridiculous. Well, let's get into our guest this
Our
week
guest.
a little bit. Maggie, I think you're such a awesome person. You're always smiling whenever I see you, so that's really cool. So let's get into this breakup a little bit more. Now that you're smiling, let's flip that
I
frown
love talking
upside.
about this stuff. I love talking shit about dudes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we'll talk as much shit as you want to and stuff, but like, what was we'll talk about like, you know, whatever you're comfortable talking about. If you don't, we'll just pivot. But did you see it coming? Did you like? Was it something that you felt like was coming on, or?
So it's goofy because, like,
It's goofy.
the story of how we met, we actually met 3 years ago.
Okay.
When I first lived in Atlanta. And we went on a date to this bar that was right by my house in Brookhaven. It was so effing hot out. I had just moved here from Minnesota. I was like dripping sweat, pitting out through this pretty yellow dress I had. But you know what? I thought the date went really well. And then afterwards, I'm like, here's my number. Let me know if you want to meet back up. But let me know if you want to go out again. He's like, yeah, for sure. Had a great time. Never heard from him. So I was like, all right, just got my first ghosting. That's totally chill. Like, I get it. He didn't have a good time.
Why? Well, look at Veronica over here cracking her ass up. Like,
Because, well, like, yeah, and it's just funny because it's funny then later who then she then ends up like dating when she first moved here with someone who I knew through other friends, and I met him first before, and I had been talking to her on Bumble BFF. It's really funny because like we all met people online and then we all like converged on one spot. It's very bizarre.
Life is hilarious because then, yeah, like she said, I started dating somebody else. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to him and he says somebody's named Veronica. And I go, I said something about I'm talking to this girl on Bumble BFF named Veronica. And he goes, damn, Veronica's like not a very like common name. And he was like, she got short hair. And I'm like, yeah. And this is before I'd even met Veronica. We were just talking on literal Bumble.
Yeah.
I met him on Bumble. But anyways, so then he's like, holy shit, that's my friend Ross's friend, Veronica. So then I ended up meeting up with Veronica. Me and this dude break up when I moved to Birmingham, Alabama, but me and Veronica have stayed friends for 3 years. Like, that's freaking cool.
yeah.
That's, like, really cool to me. So anyways, moved to Birmingham, then I moved to Wisconsin, then I quit my job, moved back to Atlanta because I just wanted to. Like, that's literally the only reason I just wanted to live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Moved back here, got on a different dating app called Hinge, and then matched with this guy, and he's talking to me, and he's like... And then I'm kind of looking at his picture, and I'm like, why does this dude look familiar?
Oh, my
I'm
God.
like, I know this dude. So I'm like looking through his pictures after we've been talking, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, I've literally been on a date with this dude before from another dating app.
Dude, I just gotta interject for a
3
second
years
because
ago.
my
It's 3
friend,
years
I have
ago.
a friend that like was like we were at a bar and we were talking to this girl and like he realized that he had actually like been back at her place with her before, like they had just completely reintroduced themselves.
It's so weird, right? It's so
And all of us are like, how can you do that? Like I just don't
Like if you've been inside her and you don't remember her.
no, I don't think he was inside. He was inside her house.
Oh.
But it is interesting when you think about it, though, because sometimes you meet somebody and then 3 years later you meet again and like you're still the same people, but you're also like very different people.
Right, for sure.
So I was kind of waiting for him to like be like, hey, I know you.
I know you.
So then finally I said, I was like, hey, this is like kind of weird, but like I'm pretty sure we've been on a date before. And he's like, oh, no, I was totally going to bring that up. I totally recognize you. I remember you. I'm really sorry I ghosted you, but I was just going through a breakup. Like, I would love to take you out again. So I was like, cool. All right, sure. I guess I'll do that. I asked my Twitter followers if I should do it. Veronica's one of the people that was like, yeah, go for it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so we started dating. And it was like fun or whatever, and I'm like, wow, this guy's really smart and cool and hot and interesting, and like can maybe teach me a lot of things about myself because he liked to like go hiking, and he was like he liked to read. I love men who like to read because a lot don't. So I was like, damn, he likes to read, and we had fun. And then I don't know, then something happened where I think we were just kind of getting on each other's nerves, but neither one of us were saying anything. He was a Virgo, I was a Sagittarius. I don't really think that's a very good compatible match. but I was overlooking it because I'm like, oh, it's a really funny, cute story how we reconnected. Like, I'm just going to keep it going. And then we were getting ready to go out for a date, which is what we did on one of our first dates, which is go to a writing club where 2 writers get on stage and have a writing battle, which is really freaking cool. And I got all dressed up. I bought a new skirt. I curled my damn hair. And then he comes in, he's like, my therapist says we should break up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
He blamed it on his therapist?
First of all, therapists, like, don't, like, say, like, this is what you should do. Like, that's, like, they're not like, hey, you should break up with. They're like, well, if this isn't good for you, think about, like, what would, like, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to go into the full details, but basically he was like, my therapist said it was a good idea if I do this before we go on our date versus after. So here I am, all freaking ready and cute and hot for our date, and he's sitting in my freaking bedroom, and he's saying this stuff, and it basically boils down to that he was a little intimidated by me in multiple ways. And I was like, all right. I'm like, is that it? I'm like, is that all you had to say? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I think you should leave. And then he freaking left. And then I called him back really quick, and I'm like, JK, I have your book. Please come get it right now because I do not want to contact you, and I also do not want to look at this book on my goddamn beautiful shelf.
That's real.
So he came immediately back. I gave him my book. I walked out to my car, and I went to that goddamn writing club by myself. And it was amazing.
Wow. That's intense.
I love that.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, do you think, like, this, were you thinking, like, possibly that this guy was, like, the one for you at any point?
I don't know. I feel like that kind of thought goes into everyone's head when you enter a new relationship because like, you really, really want to believe it. You know, like, you're like, oh, this guy has got to be the one. He came at this time in my life, the perfect timing. So, yeah, at first I was like, yeah, maybe this guy is the one. But then as you continue to learn about each other and, like, kind of considering how quickly I was able to kind of get over it and kind of how, like, my upsetness level was, I was like, he wasn't the one. No, I think I've actually had previous relationships that have been much stronger and much more emotional connection. So we're good.
Did you see any red flags, like, along the way? Were you like, yikes, actually, I probably should have. Like, anything that you were like, wow, this is, like, now looking back, that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, there was a couple instances where he, like, made some comments at one of my friends and was just a little rude, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't intentional, though, and what he has got going on is he kind of ties expectations to experiences, and if something in his life doesn't happen in the way he expected it to happen, he feels like he loses a little bit of control. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and so he would get a little fucking weird about that. But then I also had anxiety going into the relationship, and I had some weird moments. So I think anybody does going into a new relationship. So you know what? It worked out the way it was supposed to work out. I feel like I learned a little bit about myself. Hopefully he learned a little bit about himself and what not to do next time. But you know, it happened, and I'm glad it did. So. And
now you've been quarantining single. And you had tweeted like early on, like you're like, during this quarantine, I won't download a dating app. I won't download a dating app. And then like you have.
Yes, I did download. I only downloaded one. I downloaded Hinge because I feel like that is, you know, it used to be, I think Bumble was the front runner, but now like I feel like Hinge gives you a little more prompting and a little bit more ease into the conversation. So I downloaded Hinge. Honestly, my dating life right now is like really boring. Like I actually have not been on it too much, and I've actually been really focusing on other shit. Like I'm like learning how to play the piano right now, and I'm like cooking. I'm like watching a shit ton of TV. Really watching it, you know what I'm saying? Like really watching it and analyzing it and being like, damn, this is so deep. But I was talking to one guy for a little bit on Hinge, and I thought he was pretty cool. His name was Race, which was interesting because that was my old econ teacher's name who I loved. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to associate that. And he, like, we were messaging or whatever, and then I didn't respond for, like, a day and a half because I think everybody's having a little struggle right now with their screen time during quarantine. Yeah. So I took, like, a detox from my phone. And so then I responded a day and a half later, and then he was like, oh, do I need to now wait to respond for 2 days? And I'm like, whoa, dude. I'm like, we haven't even met because of the order shutdown, and you're already freaking yelling at me for not texting you back right away on Match. Wow, this is great. I'm going to delete this app again real quick.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I think I've been feeling like that too. It's not like there aren't girls I could be talking to, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just a weird time, like where I've been kind of just being like a little bit more, I don't even want to say lazy, but I want to be like more selfish, I guess. Like, I've been like wanting to, yeah, like catch up on movies, have conversations with people, make music, all the stuff that I want to be doing, not just still be thinking about girls in this moment, because honestly, it's just not like, it'll get back to that hopefully in the future or whatever, like, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like fun and games. There's not much to talk about either with, like, if you're just making it about sex, then it's one thing, but like for some reason it's like that's not even at the top of my mind right now. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. I feel like I've just been like trolling on the dating apps. Like I sometimes just bite at like whenever people like on Hinge, like if they respond to like either my prompt or like a picture in a weird way, be like, okay, how far can I mess with him?
Jesus.
And so like there's one guy who literally like he liked my photo or like he said something because like one of my prompts says something about nachos and he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, nachos are my fave too. I'm like, yeah, I've been craving them. I might have to see if like one of my favorite places does it for takeout. And he's like, or you could just come over here and we can make nachos. I'm like, who, eh?
First of all, there's been a lot of that. There has been a lot of that of people being like, let's quarantine together. I'm like, bro, I don't even know you.
And also, like, that's not how it works. And also, like, he's like, well, and then he was like, I like just trolled him for like a good half an hour as he tried to like say that like quarantining was this and that and like how it was taking away all of our rights. And
taking away our rights.
And he would like keep sprinkling in babe, like in this condescending way, just to be like, babe, like, oh, babe, like, it's not that bad, babe. And I'd be like, you don't know me.
I think, what would be interesting is if people got creative and started using like House Party as like a dating app. Like, saying like shooting your shot on a house party. Dude, have you guys been using that?
No. Want to.
Okay, so check this out.
Haven't yet.
I had this crazy first experience. The first time I was on, me and my friends were just having a house party, just like catching up, our boys, out of nowhere,
our boys.
Out of nowhere, like a random girl just shows up into the room, and she just like we're trying to figure out like who she knows, but we don't know. None of us know her. Somehow
she must like have some like I don't know how
she's
she would have.
She's from Orlando,
she would have
so
had
it's
to like.
She knew somebody through somebody or something like
that.
But it was pretty wild. Like, you know what I'm saying?
To see your guys' little house pop up. Like, yeah, my friend and I, we like crashed one of our other friends who was having like a house party with like her boyfriend and a couple other like fringe friends that we don't really know.
You're actually calling it crashing people's house party.
Yeah, so my friend and I were like, let's crash Alma's house party. And we literally just like hopped in there.
Yo, what's up, guys? And people treat you like you legit walked in to a house party. Like, that's the funny part. Like, when you crash someone's house party unexpectedly, it's like you legit crashed their actual house party. Like, they're like, hey, what are you doing in here? Sorry, this is like me, my sister, and my dad. Why are you in this house party? It's like, you could have locked the room, assholes. Now it's a bigger party. Let's go. But yeah, no, I thought it was just interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, so what is your plan of attack once this is all over, Maggie, to get back out there? Are you feel like once this is over with, you're gonna be ready to, be more aggressive in the dating world, or you're gonna continue with the?
I don't know, honestly. Usually when I'm on the dating apps, I'm kind of the first person who's always like, let's go get a drink and see if this is the match or whatever, like right away. But with this, you're not able to do that, and it's just like I don't really care anymore. Like, I'm not in a rush, to get to know any of these guys, and so I've kind of liked focusing on myself and, like you said, being a little selfish. And I don't know, once this all opens, I feel like everybody's going to be like pretty horny and like ready to go. And I'm gonna try like dating out in the real world for a little bit and seeing who I can meet authentically and in person. And if I do, and if I don't, whatever. I'm 26, so who cares?
Actually,
right?
yeah, it is going to be interesting. Like, that's a good point, actually. I think once this is all over with and people, it's going to be interesting if people are going to try to go back to the dating apps like that or, like, really shoot their shot in real life, you know? Go to the bar and, like, talk to people and, you know, just be very excited about, like, talking to people in real life as opposed to
Yeah, I miss it. I used to do that in college. Like, we'd go out to the bars and I'd meet dudes on the weekends and, like, I never used dating apps until I like graduated from college and moved down here, and then I feel like I became a little dependent on them. So I'm kind of ready to just be like, eh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not like we didn't need them in college. I mean, we were like forever, like we were in a live dating app.
You don't need them
time.
now. You don't need them now.
No, we don't.
I'm telling you right now, you guys definitely both like. There's people that might need them. Specifically, both you guys do not need dating apps. I'll tell you what. Look at you guys. But yeah, no. But just because, like, you know, there's a lot of, I feel like those are more for people that don't know how to initiate conversation or don't have interesting things to talk about themselves, and that's definitely not any of us, you know. So, but yeah, no. So what do you like? You know, what is your plan with this Babe with a Book and a Beer blog? You know, like do you see it going places? Do you just want to keep nurturing it? It's like a little hobby, or?
So it's fun because, like, you know, it started off as a hobby and then all of a sudden it got bigger and I started getting brands and stuff reaching out and wanting me to do stuff. Well, now it's kind of reached the point where I'm doing all this stuff, but then they're not wanting to pay me any money, which, you know, I put hours and hours of work into, like, curating content and writing. Like, I have a full-blown writing blog. I write reviews for an online magazine, 2 online magazines, and I just now, starting this week, I am starting to do technical writing, like copywriting for a marketing agency. And so everybody, a lot of the times, puts pressure on me to monetize my blog, which, you know, is a very kind of our generation thing that's going on right now, where if you're not making money from something, then why are you doing it? You know, everything needs to be monetized. And so right now I'm kind of taking a step back from doing that stuff with my blog and just really trying to enjoy it and kind of going back to why I started it, which was to share my love of books and to share my love of local breweries.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I'm going to Monday night because they're doing a furloughed staff. Like, anybody who comes in, we get free beer, and they're going to give us a free meal from Das Barbecue, who's our barbecue partner at the garage in Atlanta.
That's awesome.
Which is wonderful. Like, I just want this all to go back to normal so I can go back to work at Monday night, because Monday night, you know, when I moved here in September, I actually had a different job in software sales, but I quit because I hated it.
Yep.
I went to Monday night to find another job, but then I was like, why don't I ask them if they're hiring in the meantime? And so I got a job with them, and my coworkers, like, are some of the best people I've ever met, and they became like my family down here. And like, I honestly just want to get back to work at Monday night, and I want this all to blow over. I want us to stay open. So, like, I hope all of your followers who listen to this, live in the Atlanta area, will go to Monday night and support their, you know, to-go drive-through stuff. Because I want to continue, 1, working for them, 2, running my blog in a fun, authentic, normal way.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I will say quarantine has given me a lot more time to write, and so I've been writing a lot. I'm hoping I can get more on, like, the freelance bandwagon there, but for right now, it's just fun, and it's kind of been keeping me sane throughout this entire thing, and that's all I can hope for.
Well, do you listen to the show often?
I do.
Do you really? Do you have any advice for V and I, you know, now that, you know, coming from, you know, being in a relationship to now, you know, being single? Both you and V kind of are in that same boat, but specifically me, any advice for me?
Any advice for you, like, moving forward, like, being
like
single?
like the same thing. Like, when we get out of this, like, quarantine, like, what do you think my best plan of action should be for getting, you know, a significant other, maybe? Because I don't do the dating apps. I just like to, you know, meet people or through parties and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Well, my advice would be to never compromise yourself. And I know people have such a problem with people being a little selfish, but I feel like with dating so much now is you're giving so much a lot of the time for nothing in return, just in hopes of having a significant other. So I would say know when to give and know when you're not getting anything in return. And it's okay to focus on yourself. And sometimes when you focus on yourself and focus on your interests and your wants, that's when the best people come into your life. And I know that's like a corny thing, but like I've spent a lot of time trying really hard to get a partner because I feel like it's like a pressure that gets put on us that if we don't have a significant other, then we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, especially as women, I feel like.
Or which is old people like me.
No, I would just say it's okay to put yourself first every now and then and like really cultivate what your likes are and what your hobbies are. And as long as you're putting good out into the world, then good will come back to you. Like it's a karma thing, you know.
Oh,
like,
Mags, that's like you're so wise beyond your years. Like that's the best advice I've ever heard.
That's like the theme of like what we always talk about. We've talked about karma and being positive and stuff on the show a lot.
Well, I think you know, when this is all over with, the three of us and a bunch of other people that are, you know, been cooped up and single, ready to mingle, should all go out for like a fun night. Don't you agree, Paul? Yeah, I know he does.
Who let the dogs out?
Poor Paul. He's like not even.
He's just trying to mind his own business over there and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, no. I think it'd be fun to go out, like all of us.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the last time I saw you, you had a boyfriend. So.
Yeah, that was for the 100th episode. So yeah.
She's like, "Sigh, I have a boyfriend." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
Not anymore.
I'm pretty respectful about the boyfriend thing. That's
No, it's over.
You drop the boyfriend line on me. That's a pretty good line. I'll be like, all right. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you drop the boyfriend line, and it's either, like, she does have a boyfriend, you don't want to mess that up, or she's just not interested in you, and she's just telling you she has a boyfriend. So it's...
Well, that's because women usually have to say the boyfriend thing because men will take that more seriously than us just saying we're not interested.
Well, we do take it seriously. I don't know what you want from me.
That's shitty that you don't just listen to us.
I mean, no, that's what they telling me. I will listen, say whatever you want. But I'm just saying, they're saying that I have a boyfriend. So I'm just like,
because
okay.
Men will literally not believe that someone's not interested in them. That's why women have to say that they have a boyfriend when they don't.
Keep trying. But I will say I actually did have a boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
But he is long gone now. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, okay. What are we doing here?
What is happening?
I don't know. Let's get a FaceTime later. But
The fuck?
well, I don't know. Guys, you know, a couple beers, a couple Trulies later. We're all just being babes, you know. So Veronica, look at her, she's shaking her head.
I can't deal. I just can't deal right now.
All right, well, why don't we talk about a little Bachelor stuff? You know, week 2 of what was this show called?
Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart. Yeah, so it was another interesting weekend. Listen to your heart. Everyone's back in the house, and a lot of people that we thought might have gone home at the end of last week got saved, which, you know, the fake Shawn Mendes guy. I was happy he stuck around a little bit. You know, I felt bad for him. There was the drama of Trevor, or what is his name? Is his name Trevor?
Okay, so yeah, one of the main things that happened this week was that this girl Natasha. There's new arrivals. There's Natasha, and then there was Mariana and Ruby. And Natasha comes in, guns a-blazing, being all like, I know Trevor's ex, and he cheated on her. And, like, this is all while Trevor and Jamie are out on some really stupid-ass date where they're panhandling because they're literally just playing playing music in a park.
Hold on, did anyone else notice that they're throwing auto-tune on everyone's voices? Like, I would kill this show. Like, I swear to God, every time they sing on the show, they have the auto-tune on it. And I just maybe notice it because, like, I throw that shit on all my vocals. But I'm just saying, like, it's pretty crazy. Like, it's blatant.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see more of the singing next week, too. But so then that becomes a whole thing. Natasha, like, wastes no time, corners Trevor, and is like, you cheated on my friend. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, the fuck? And then, you know, this is Jamie's like having a mini breakdown because the other girls are like talking to her, being like what Natasha told them, and she's like, all of my boyfriends have cheated on me, and she's like 21. I'm like, how many boyfriends have you had?
Dude,
that,
she's so hot though.
You are obsessed, but
I'm just saying though, that's how she has so many boyfriends. She's like freaking hot.
I don't like whatever. I think she's just so basic and like she just
What do you
seems
mean
kind of
basic?
dumb.
She's got like a body and she's beautiful and she's a musician. What are you talking about?
I don't know. She just seems kind of dumb, and
It just seems kind of dumb. Okay. Maybe a little bit, but I don't care. But anyways, my whole thing is like, how did the producers know that like? Again, how do they know that they're gonna like Trevor and her are gonna match up? Like it could have been the Shawn Mendes guy and Trevor and her, like, you know, the fact that like her one like what is her deal breaker is cheating, and he's like got this cheating past, and they got the girl that knows
emotional
that he cheated.
cheating past.
Like how do they do this? It's crazy.
I mean, it's a lot of manipulation. I mean, they can talk to people. They can talk in people's ears. They can kind of help set up situations. Like, they can bring in people.
I did
when
like your
it's
point on the
relevant.
fact that Natasha was like, all right, well, how come if Natasha and this girl were best friends, how come they've never met before?
That's what I said during my tipsy talks. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you've never met him as a boyfriend though, and like you were best friends. Sure, Jan.
Right.
But so then some of our
I do like her name though.
Huh?
I do like her name though.
Natasha?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Freaking ego name when I'm out drunk is Natasha in a Russian accent.
Natasha.
Ego.
I love that. Wait.
Natasha. That's like the Avengers.
Yeah. It is. She's been watching all of the Avengers movies chronologically.
Really? That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Phase 3.
That's
I'm
actually
in-
a great quarantine goal to watch them all in
Activity, yeah.
chronological.
Right?
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so they end up cheating, or he ends up telling her that he emotionally cheated on his ex, and
she thinks it's fine and it's whatever.
oh man, but like the way she like, he was like, no, let's go talk right now.
I
Let me
know.
settle in. He tried to be all like, let me just like settle in a little bit. She's like, I'd feel better if we talked right now. And he was like,
I know. I said, like,
"Whoa."
she literally was not wasting any time. Natasha was just like ready to roll. She was like, I'm here to stir shit up. And then like that was pretty much all she did all episode. And then she made out with fake Shawn Mendes, Ryan, and then that was pretty much it. That was her contribution to the entire episode.
All right. What do you feel about that girl smacking that one girl and then getting a rose from him? Or that girl smacking that one guy and then getting a rose from him? Like
Smacking.
Yeah,
What do you
she-
mean by that?
the girl that like see, I'm so bad with the names, but the girl that like last week yelled at him for not.
Oh, Rudy and Matt. Like Rudy is really annoying to me because she's like that kind of girl who like went to like make amends with Matt and was like, I know you must hate me, but like she's like one of those kinds of girls, and I'm just like, bitch, just like either stand your ground and like just do you or don't. Like she very much so is like so worried about like what Matt thinks of her and like whatever, and like they ended up making amends. Because I don't even know who else he was talking to. Oh, I think he talked a little bit to like Ruby or one of the other new girls, and then like
There's a Judy, Ruby, and Nudie.
there's a Rudy and a Ruby Jane is what I think Ruby goes
my
by.
whole thing is that like what, and I think she's like no, she probably is promiscuous in her actual life, and then she, like people know this. And she came on the show, and the guy tried to like make out with her in the first episode, and I think she was trying not to look like a slut on national television.
Interesting.
And then that's why she regrets not like kissing him, because she like tried to do like this whole like coy thing, and it kind of backfired on her, like, or at least made her get in her head for like a whole episode.
Yeah, I think she's just kind of one of. I mean, even she was like being talked down by Jamie this episode. I think she's just like one of those girls that like.
That was
defines a
awkward,
lot of
right?
her
Like,
worth.
because like she kissed that guy first, and he's like, she's like, I kissed fake Shawn Mendes. the guy that you already kissed, and she's like, it's okay, it's okay.
Oh yeah, when she talked about like how much she like thought it was awkward and whatever. I mean, she just seems like she like really, she really defines her worth by like her relationships, and I feel like that's just not really conducive to being a healthy person.
I don't know. She makes for good drama on TV though.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like everything in this is like so annoying to me. My only couple that I really, really like is Bree and Chris, and they got like shafted for the date. Their date was like they went to a closed Guitar Center and hung out in an empty guitar center and like sang together. And Bree talks about how her fiance pretty much broke up with her by telling her like, hey, like she was like calling him about when she was like getting her wedding dress.
What do you hate
like,
about that date?
What do I hate about it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying that I think they got shafted. Like, I think it's like kind of a shitty date where some of the other dates were better. Like going like Julia and Sheridan got to go like on a radio show and perform. I mean, even Jamie and whoever like were at least performing and got money like from their panhandling.
I thought this was a perfect date for these two because they just like needed to be all romantic and stuff and corny.
I mean, they're super cute. I think like they're my favorites for sure.
So what are we thinking about next week?
Next week is like they actually get into like actual more of the singing competition part, which is interesting to me. I just feel like these episodes should not be 2 hours long. They drag. Like I get bored. Like these are not like to me like I'm like I either want to see more singing or I want to see more something like I'm like I feel like they're really splitting, like they don't know the balance yet. And actually compadre JD was texting me earlier and he's like, how come they don't do dates like roses on dates? But I also brought up the fact with him, I'm like, they don't do roses on dates in Bachelor in Paradise, right?
I didn't
they just
actually
do the
know
rose
that
ceremony.
this show was going to be kind of like Bachelor in Paradise where they bring in new people each week and stuff. So
yeah,
that's interesting development of the show. Well, yeah, I mean, I think I didn't find it like me personally. I didn't think it dragged on, but I just like the music aspect of the show. This is finally like cool, you know, and it's cool to see like them actually start singing. I haven't seen one yet that wasn't actually like not good, like that was like cringy. Maybe like Homegirl. I don't know, the one that keeps going on the dates. What's her name? Jamie. Maybe
Jamie.
You know, she might be like the one that's least experienced, but even then, like she's gone through 2 singing dates and, you know, hasn't really...
I thought that was interesting too. I was like saying how I'm like, oh, like the producers really rigged this so that Jamie gets to go on another date. Like they pick who they're gonna promote. So like they're gonna promote Jamie. Like Jamie's the one who they're gonna keep like pushing up and up through the ranks because like she's the very like.
I think the one that they're pushing up is the black dude.
I mean, he barely Chris is barely getting like anything like him. It's like him and Bree because like they're cute, but like Jamie's gotten multiple dates. Like it took for like
from
Chris
my
and Bree
perspective
just
as
got
a
a date.
musician, what I've been seeing like in the last 2 episodes of what they've been showing, like each person performing and stuff. Chris, is that the black guy?
There's 2 black guys, so.
Oh no, the one that just went on a date this past episode.
That's Chris. Yes.
Yeah. So Chris, he they've been showing him a lot, like playing music on the show, playing the piano, like singing, and more than anybody else.
Here and there.
I think he's probably the best musician on the show, actually.
Oh, for sure.
So
I agree. That's why I think
out of
like
anybody, and if anything, if I were to guess, I think that they're using this as a singing competition, which means that at the end of the show, if these guys end up getting like some type of deal within 2 years of them being on the show, Bachelor probably makes money off of them or something, a percentage or something. So.
Yeah, similar to like how like with American Idol, like how, you know, yeah, it's like you get that deal with whoever, things like that.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see next week's stuff. You know, do we have any other Bachelor news?
Yeah, so Maddie and Peter have been back at like shading each other because Maggie's face. It's like, what? So they both have been kind of like sluts for podcasts this past week. So I think Peter went on like 3 different Bachelor podcasts, and then Maddie went on Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine, and she talked about how like literally right after, you know how like it was like pretty much 2 days after after the final rose aired and they seemed like they were back together, then they both posted they're like, oh, we're not going to do that, like we're not dating anymore notes. She said like after that and like when he had just like when he was just getting into Chicago, he was like texting her and calling her saying like how he missed her and how he wanted to get back together. And like I guess she was saying how like her and Kelly were really close when they were on the show and how she like obviously took offense to him like going and living in Chicago with her. Which he was saying on the podcast that he was on that they aren't dating.
Same thing with Tyler and Hannah. Like it's dumb. It's like you guys. Like, what is dating these days? Like, don't tell me that you're not dating just to tell me that you guys are, like, sleeping in the same bed, putting each other's parts together. You know?
I just feel
don't tell me you're not dating.
They're both, like, just really trying to hang on to the limelight right now in different ways. And I just find it, which... It's what else do we got? We don't have The Bachelorette it's postponed indefinitely. We only have Listen to Your Heart, which like I feel like still has not really hit its stride.
So I was reading an article today about them talking about how the next Bachelor is pretty much already like gonna be picked. Like they won't be picking a Bachelor because they'll have to start filming The Bachelor so soon that it'll probably be. What I was seeing was either going to be Mike, Tyler, or old Peter from Rachel's season, the gray hair Peter.
Because you're saying because of like when they'll finally do the Bachelorette season, they'll probably have to do the Bachelor season so soon after that.
Yeah, so they'll just pick like somebody they already have like in the wings.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that works because, I mean, we still don't know even when Bachelorette's going to air. Or, I mean, it looks like we're not getting Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah. So,
Maggie, what'd you think of Peter's season and that whole ending and stuff? Did you watch it?
So this season was actually the first time I've ever watched the season beginning to end. And I even bought cable so I could watch it live the last week.
Wow.
I know. I was like full blown dedicated by the end. This is your fault.
And look at you now. You're on a Bachelor podcast.
I know. I feel famous and cool. It's amazing. I feel like super centered in like the freaking core of pop culture right now. So I was actually Team Kelly the entire time. And
Same.
I was like, Peter, you absolute imbecile. I love calling men imbeciles. He was an imbecile because he kept Victoria. And I read all the shit.
Sai is like a Victoria F stan, even though she like legitimately gaslit Peter on TV. So I don't understand.
Listen. Guys, let me just ask you this. Have you ever seen someone that's like terrible person, but they're so freaking hot? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Victoria F is so hot. It's crazy.
Yeah, but usually they get uglier to me if they're like terrible.
Yeah, but like, imagine if she was nice.
They freaking don't know how to speak freaking words either, and I'm like, ma'am, say words. Like every time she talks to Peter, I'm like,
beautiful. It's crazy.
Speak English. So I was upset when Kelly left.
Me too.
But then I was like Team Maddie, but then on the last episode, I was like, damn, I'm like kind of Team Hannah, and that's weird.
Yeah, same.
And then when Peter broke up with Hannah, even though Hannah's hair looked insane, I'm like, girl, put some dry shampoo in that hair really quick. Like, other than that, I was like, wow, Peter's being a DICK. And then he went back with Maddie, and then the finale was absolutely bonkers. And whoever's idea it was to put Barb in the corner of the TV, give them a raise. Wow, that was very impressive TV. And like, oh, Peter's on TikTok, and I'm like watching
his TikToks are so bad.
They're the worst. And
They're
his
so
mom
bad.
is
I'm
like the worst.
Really bad dancer. Like I'm not TikTok level dancer yet, but like Peter is bad.
And I swear, like I brought this up before. I feel like his mom told him once that he was a good dancer, and now he's like trying to act all sexy on TikTok.
He's like trying to do the shuffle. I'm like, dude, you can't even do the shuffle. He's still cute, though. I would, like, make out with him.
See, exactly. That's what I was talking about. It's crazy. That's the Victoria F syndrome.
Yeah. I would push
Did you see how fast that, like, turned? Like, Maggie was like, but he's so cute, though. I would just, like...
What?
Maggie just turned so fast. Like, it was like, oh, my God, he's so annoying and blah, blah, blah. But, like, he's so cute.
but he's so cute. Like, and I will say the funniest thing I think about the whole season was when he hit his head on the golf cart.
Yes.
Like every single week, I would like seeing the scar. I'm like, that's effing hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it was pretty great. Well, yeah, Bachelor. You know what you gonna do?
Exactly.
I would push. Maggie, were you saying that you would push for like a Tyler C kind of like Bachelor? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with him on TikTok. He's so funny and he's so hot. He's like really hot. He's
He's so hot. And he's not really problematic, actually.
No, he's actually really great on Twitter. Like sometimes he says opinions and I'm nervous. I'm like, should I keep reading? And then I'm like, nah, it's a good opinion.
Yeah, but wait until they get you on The Bachelor. They figure out how to put you under a lens that makes you look like shit. Like, it's just crazy.
But Mike is hot too. Mike is like insanely hot. Like I would go for either of those freaking fine ass men.
What about if I was the future Bachelor?
I would apply to be on that freaking show.
Maggie, you're too much. Oh my goodness.
I almost made it on the Real World once. I think I could get on The Bachelor.
Dude, I tried to go on the Real World once too. That was like, this is actually probably where it all stems from, is that I really wanted, my biggest favorite show is The Challenge. I just want to be on The Challenge. That's all.
The best show.
Have you been watching the new one?
No, I haven't watched it in literally years. I try to hold on to the years.
Dude, Challenge is so good. It beats all these shows. I'll tell you what.
Is Johnny Bananas still on there?
Johnny Bananas is still on there.
I love Johnny Bananas.
Me too,
my
man.
stupid hunk of a man.
Well, guys, let's get into our slapper of the week. This week's slapper of the week is called "I Hope" by Gabby Barrett and Barrett. And actually, it's been a song, but it didn't catch my attention until Charlie Puth hopped on it and told me, "Hey, listen to this song I'm on." And then I started listening to it. Have you guys heard this song?
Hey,
I haven't.
Yeah.
I
So
don't think I have.
Chucky P called me up and he was like, "Dude, I got this new song. You should
he
check it out."
did not call you, you hoe.
And I was like, "Dude, I guess I'm making my slapper of the week." So,
You're so ridiculous. Charlie Puth did not call you.
have you seen that picture I have with him?
Yeah.
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 He didn't call
exactly.
you.
So,
I
and he
would
told
love
me
to
I could
see
call him Chucky.
I would love to see the call logs, okay?
Yeah, just give me an hour and I'll get that over to you.
Yeah. For you to doctor him up. That's what I thought.
Anyways, our slapper of the week is called "I Hope" by Gabby Barrett featuring Charlie Puth. I really like it because listen to the words of the song. If you guys can hear it from your end, but listen to the words of the song because the song's called "I Hope" and it's really like an interesting song because like it's talking about how you hope like your ex like goes and finds someone that they really love and they have a good time, blah blah blah. And I hope you meet someone. I hope you gets down on one knee and proposes to you, or like I hope she like puts a smile on your face. And then I hope he cheats on you like you did to me and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty cool song. So without further ado, why don't we get into it? I Hope, Gary Brett featuring Charlie Puth. Let's go.
Slapper of the week.
This song slaps.
Yeah, slapper of the week. I Hope by Gabby Barrett featuring Charlie Puth. And then I hope he cheats. Like, what a funny thing to like. That's like the best song ever, dude.
I mean, that's like real though.
Yo, for real though. Like, you know, like it's the most pettiest song I ever heard. That is just like so good. It's just like I hope you're so happy for a year or two. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I hope he cheats. Like, you know, it's just the most stuff.
That's like a follow up to Carrie Underwood's Before He Cheats. It's like even more killer.
Actually, it's funny that you say that. That song actually did remind me of Carrie Underwood. So, but yeah, no, Charlie Puth has been entertaining me through this quarantine. Did you see that song I tagged you in today, Veronica?
Yeah, it was so good. The beats thing, like where they all passed the beat or whatever,
Yeah,
and like
it just like went from like Charlie Puth to
T-Pain, Charlie Puth, a whole like Skrillex. It was a whole bunch of them. It was
Skrillex killed
so
it
good.
at the end. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It was really good.
Yeah, it's on T-Pain's Instagram. It's called Pass the Beat. Do you have any shout-outs, V? What do you got for shout-outs this week?
I wanted to shout out my Jones girls, Alex, Zasmine, Kirsten, Bailey, and then obviously our fearless leader, Adam, from when we all were RAs together. We got to do a little reunion.
Okay.
This past weekend over Zoom. So that was a lot of fun. And then I wanted to shout out my Tigers Lair fam. I've shouted them out before on this a lot, but they're always holding it down for me. And we also had a little reunion the other day. And I also wanted to shout out my friend Janelle, because we're like using this time to like invite each other to fun different virtual workouts or things that we might not usually do. So it's kind of fun to like be able to see each other that way.
Yo, that's what's up. That's what's up. I wanted to give a shout out to our compadre, our host from last week, Nate, not only for coming on the show and talking about how he had coronavirus, but now he's actually COVID-19 free. So shout out to him.
Yeah, he tested
Actually, let's give him a
negative.
round of applause. Like, you know what I'm saying? Congrats, bro, and thanks again for being on the show. I'm glad you're doing okay. I didn't know he was so fit, though. Like, he does all those videos.
Yeah, he does CrossFit. I know.
Yeah, he's another one that's added to the single group. We all got to go out. I don't know. Maybe Maggie, Nate. I don't know. I mean, he's already had coronavirus, so you don't have to scare he's going to catch it. So
Got those antibodies.
right, yeah, go grab those antibodies. You know what I'm saying?
Wink.
Yeah, I just want to feel his antibodies.
Ew.
Yeah, I know that was a bad one. I'm gonna give me sad try. So, Maggie, do you have any shout outs?
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah, give it as many shout outs as you want.
Okay, I'm going to give both a shout out and a self promotion. I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Hannah in Texas.
Hannah!
Her Instagram handle is Bathing in Books, and she convinced me to read this book right here called Eat Up.
Oh, yum.
Ruby Tando, who was on the Great British Bake Off. So I just read this book. I have a new writing piece coming out tomorrow on this book, and it also correlates with like a personal essay of like worrying about your weight in quarantine. So that'll be live tomorrow on the Book Slut based on this book that my good friend Hannah recommended to me. So yeah, check it out.
That's what's up. Air horn for her.
Woo! And I'm excited to read that piece.
Right. Mags, can you give the people places where they can find you? Instagram.
Yes, you can find me at Instagram at Babe with a Book and a Beer. You can also find me on Blogspot at babewithabookandbeer.blogspot.com for extended reviews, and I write for the Book Slut, and I give long form book reviews there as well. And I just started writing for City Lifestyle magazine at the Atlanta Metro digital site. So you can find me at those 4 places.
Busy.
Yay.
And we'll throw that in the episode description too. So
Yep, I will.
Well, that was a fun show. This is probably the most social I actually get all week. It's really nice to see some beautiful women. And I don't get to see them that
It's
often.
all my ring light, I have to say. I've never
I was gonna
looked
say,
better.
God damn, I could get me a ring light. How do I look? I don't feel like I look that good or something. I don't know.
I honestly, this ring light has changed my fucking life.
I still look good. No, it does look good though. I gotta get me a ring light. Well, Maggie, I'm really happy you're on the show. Obviously, you can come back on here anytime. You're always welcome. And,
I appreciate it. You guys are so fun. I've been wanting to do this forever.
I know. I'm happy we finally got to do it. We've been wanting you on for a while. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to have you on in person so we could
Heck yeah.
That'd be super fun. And start watching Listen to Your Heart so we can talk about it next time.
I must start it after this.
You might as well. You already got the cable. You're paying for it, so.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. Well, this has been episode 109 of Future Bachelor. Next week, 110, and we're now deep into the 100s, and we're going trucking through this. Veronica, I love you. This is fun that we continue to do this through an apocalypse. So that's dope.
That's always great. Yeah.
Make sure to follow us wherever it is. Rate, review, let a friend know about us. Especially during these times. We're just great, positive, fun listening, and and shout out to our family. We love you. We love all you guys that are listening, and we'll catch you next week. All right. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And who else we got here?
And I'm Maggie.
Yeah. And this has been Future Bachelor. We'll see you next week. All right. Deuces.
Bye.
Future Bachelor Podcast.